What is up, everybody? Welcome to the show. This thumbnail is deceiving. We are going to talk about Bad Batch. This is on program, but we're also talking about the Star Wars Outlaws trailer, so don't get it twisted. You're in the right place to discuss all things Star Wars. And got a heck of a panel to do it. We got Michael B., Andy Mason. I will never figure out mirror imaging because I always point in the wrong direction. This is the face of your consummate professional, Eddie Roman. Welcome to the show, and we're ready to get into this, man. We got some stuff going on that we want to discuss, right? Bad Batch has been fun. We've been enjoying it. We're going to discuss that. I don't think there's too much meat on the bones on these. They were good episodes, but not like so we'll get there. That was fun. But I want to talk about this Star Wars Outlaws thing because, when we started this show, we were all excited about on-program gaming. Fallen Order had just come out, or not Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor had come out. And, and then it's like Star Wars games, AAA games come out once in a blue moon. And so I was really excited about this one. We did a review with Andy's delightful husband, Michael, yet another one of the Michaels on this revolving door of on-program Michaels. So he and I talked about the gameplay trailer that came out. There's at least 3. We're always looking for another Michael to add to the collection, get my Michael gauntlet. But in any event, we discussed it. We thought it was cool. We were excited. But now the story trailers come out. So I want to get everybody's thoughts on this. It seems like there have been mixed reviews, to put it mildly. And so I'm excited to get into it. So I'm going to start with Michael because Andy asked me to. What did you think about this trailer, and what do you think about the state of Star Wars gaming generally?
Oh gosh, 2 bigger questions.
The
trailer itself was, I feel like I don't know if I expressed this at the time, but especially after rewatching it, it's less exciting than the original teaser and the original gameplay trailers were. When I saw those and I knew less about what the story was going to be, and I didn't see how the game sort of, I don't know if it's true final game content. I think they have a disclaimer at the beginning that it's not, but I don't know. I was more excited about it before. Now that I see more of it, I don't know. I'm not blown away. I'm going to play. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to play the Star Wars game. I'm probably going to enjoy it, but I don't know if I'm as excited for it now as I was to begin with. Star Wars gaming as a whole, we've heard a lot of good points. I'm definitely tired of the companion story game. We've had that a lot. We had that in Battlefront, Inferno Squadron. We had the companion droid, which people seem to forget was like a copy pasted then into BD1. Just basically the same things, although granted BD1's way cuter. BD1's better. No questions there. But it's the same thing. Like the vast majority of the high-end Star Wars games we've had recently have all been sort of a very similar cookie cutter model, and I'm looking for something interesting and different. I really enjoyed as sort of as bad a game as they were technically speaking, and as sort of off the wall in terms of canon as they were. I liked the Force Unleashed games. I really did. I missed the more hardcore shooter games like Republic Commando. Love that game. Would love to see a modern rendition of Republic Commando. And I don't know. I feel like we get some of these sort of cookie cutter, very safe looking games that Outlaws looks super safe. Which is odd for it to be doing so poorly in terms of like pre-reviews and people just complaining about things. But, I'm sure, Ed, you'll get into that. It's funny because it does seem like it's taking the safe road to just kind of use a formula that everybody's comfortable with and familiar with, and what is like the popular thing today. I'd be much more interested in something, I've said this before. I want to see a Star Wars Helldivers. I want to see a Star Wars Pal World. I want to see some of the stuff that really took off. I don't know if you know that one. Sort of a really open world Minecraft-y kind of a Star Wars thing, which I guess we get Star Wars Minecraft. That's a thing now. Haven't looked into it. We've got Star Wars characters in Fortnite, I think. That was announced. You should take a look because they have you can go to different worlds in Minecraft.
Impromptu Star Wars Minecraft trailer review on program.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Let me stream that for 2 hours, building
Right.
my Star Wars Minecraft hut.
I mean, wouldn't be mad at it. But you know the best Star Wars game I've played in a long time. I really liked Squadrons, but the best Star Wars game I've played in a long time was actually the ILM X, or the I think it's X Labs, the
X-Lab, yeah.
Vader Immortal series, which is like maybe 6 total hours of content period, and it was so good. And I know you haven't had a chance. We need to make that happen at
I
some point.
also
But
get
it is
sicky and froed up whenever I play a virtual reality game.
okay. But that's so for
That happened to me when I played Squadrons. I
hey
froed
Wyatt.
up.
But see, Squadrons will make you motion sick, as would flying an X-wing. So I think that's fair. It's not the VR's problem. It's literally the game format.
If you're not
just
literally
you.
dying when you are shot in video games, why play it? It's not
Why
realistic.
bother? Why bother?
Oh,
Why
my
says the
dog.
problem is that that Outlaws doesn't have a target audience. It's just everybody.
Hey, that's valid. I want to interrupt that validity to address what is off screen right now. My lovely wife brought me dinner before I started this. I didn't get a chance to eat all of it. It's a garlic Alfredo, not relevant. So my dog is down here just staring at it, just getting increasingly hungry. And she's like, she was being so good, but now she's just slowly crawling up onto the table. And I think resistance is proving futile. Like, she will come in frame at one point. Let me try to zoom out and see if this comes up. No, you can't see her.
Really?
Damn it.
I see some tufts of fur.
Yeah, she is she's trying to just straight up eat this food, and I don't know how to get her to stop. But hey, that was fun little derailment. Here, you wanna come on?
Millie? Oh, good girl. Oh, so
Yeah.
cute.
We're gonna get those cute dog views now. Let's go. All right.
There you go. Fix the thumbnail now.
Yeah, right. We got puppies on program now with twice the puppy and 100% less the Star Wars.
I do think you need to unprogram yourself.
Yeah, that's the biggest on program ever. Okay, so you were talking about what we were talking about, Michael, and you were raising really good points, and then my dog distracted me. So bring me back up to speed, if you would.
I was talking about Wyatt, because Wyatt commented in the chat here, if we're getting him around, and he said in the live chat, he said the problem is the game doesn't have a target audience, or rather the target audience is everybody. It's trying to appease everybody, as opposed to like committing to a niche. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Look at that.
I didn't know I could do that. That's
Whoa.
a button that I just found. Look at that.
Okay.
Check that out. You might need to move that down somewhere, but that would be really cool
No,
if we just had like a
that's
stream
where it
that
lives.
It looks good.
lives there.
We're legit, guys. Yeah, well, Wyatt Michael Sings, welcome to the chat. Listen, man, you can also check your text messages while you're at it. But yeah, just hit me back. But no, he's exactly right. I think like that's the thing about Ubisoft games. Like, I love them because I'm like I don't know. Like, I don't consider myself a S tier gamer. As a matter of fact, I'm rather the opposite.
Yeah.
I'm like just above a mobile game boy. Like, I just wanna pop in, play around, have a little fun. Like, Far Cry is
Casual.
my
You're
bread
a
and
casual
butter.
gamer, man. It's
I
cool.
am a
Okay.
effing casual, like
okay.
straight up, dog.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Casual and proud.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like a cozy gamer, so this doesn't look like it meets my needs. I would agree that it looks like it appeals to like your average gamer, and I just don't fit into that category of playing the shooter games. Echoing what Michael B already said and what Wyatt said. I agree wholeheartedly.
I fit in the average gamer category, that's for sure. So, like I said, I'm gonna play it. It's fine.
Listen, I'm excited for this one. I've said before, I'm grading this one on a curve. I'm partial to this type of open world story. I'm partial to different syndicates. I'm partial to lore connections. That's the biggest thing. Like, there's a lot of seeming lore connections. That's what I got out of this, right? We're tying in with the War of the Bounty Hunters. Kira's going to be in this game. She was very relevant. You know, when I was doing the trailer review the first time, I was talking with Michael Mason. I was saying there's a lot of stuff that could happen here, and it looks like we're getting every bit of it. And this dog is going insane. Oof. Okay,
Oh my god.
this is why she usually stays upstairs. Like I feel very invaded right now. My
It's
personal
okay.
space.
We all good.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So I'm excited for it personally, but I don't begrudge anybody with their sort of frustrations, especially with the Ubisoft stuff. So Andy, first of all, what are you thinking about this? You said you're a cozy gamer, but explain a bit more about what your thoughts are with this story, and then also talk about that tea you dropped off air just before getting on. About Ubisoft.
Sure, yeah. This game just like didn't it hasn't it's been on my radar, but it hasn't grabbed my attention. I watched the trailer and nothing really grabbed my attention throughout it either, except like you said, lore connections. I think we see a little bit of Kira, right? With a red hood on. That was cool. No, am I wrong?
Sure. I thought didn't Michael, you and I talked about this, right? Like it was Kira in a separate shot they put out, but not but that wasn't her in the thing. Millie, I
thought it
swear
was
to
her.
God, this dog, dude. I'm like, you gotta chill, pup. She wants this garlic bread worse than anyone's wanted anything in the history of the world.
It really looks like her about 9 seconds in, but
okay.
I mean, it could just
Fair
be
enough.
some other white girl in a red hood. Like, who knows?
Either way, she's in the game, so maybe I'm absolutely tripping, or I'm forgetting the frame that everybody's talking about. I was talking about the one at the meeting table. Is that
That's what I was talking about too.
Yeah, no, that's the one.
Yeah.
The one we saw where they confirmed she definitely is not in that trailer, but
Okay,
I think that's
yeah.
her at the meeting table. Anyway,
hey, I thought it wasn't, but like I said, I am often wrong.
Better question: is Maul alive, or is this after Maul dies?
He's dead.
Maul's, but he dies anytime. Like this is, I guess this is after
Maul dies
Rebellion
before...
exists. So yeah, before Rebellion exists.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Gotta get it straight. Andy, is Nyx a cat or a dog?
Oh, that little thing. I don't know.
Here's what we're gonna do. Wyatt just texted me and said he can call, so I'm gonna call him and see if he sends me a voicemail. Let's see what happens.
It only matters if it's a cat or a dog, because if it's a dog, Taylor would leave it in the fire. But if it's a cat,
hey, you're on the air and internet. Can everybody hear Wyatt?
We'll
Wyatt,
say something
to see if they can hear you.
Hello?
Coming through? We got him?
Yeah.
I can't hear them, but that's fine.
Yeah, you don't need to hear them. You just need to hear me. I'm all that matters to you. But they still haven't confirmed. So hey, we're professionals.
We can hear him just fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. All right. So Wyatt, we've talked a lot about having you on the show. You were on some of the earlier episodes, and you know your whole bag is the hyper casual Star Wars enjoyer and the hyper active video game enjoyer. So those two worlds combining here. I wanted to get your sort of uncensored thoughts on this game and the surrounding hullabaloo. So just dish. Tell me what you're thinking about it.
Yeah, so briefly, I agreed with what Michael said originally, how it was interesting the less information was shown, because especially after watching the trailer and in the gameplay, I'm just like not really excited at all. Like I've seen it so many times already. It's just kind of, and I've made the point before about the companion stuff, which is boring now. The story dialogue, like the player models, it just looks like the whole thing was like half-assed or scripted by AI. Like, I don't know, typical Ubisoft stuff.
So it's funny because you remember we joked all the time about how Ubisoft just like shits out these games, right? Like they would, you would make the joke. You're just like, yeah, man, we just got the license for Monopoly. We'll have some pre-alpha footage by Tuesday. Just give us a week, you know. Like
Right.
it was really funny. And so now you say all that, and I can't really disagree. Again, like the thing is, if this is bland cookie cutter content, it's bland cookie cutter content, especially around the things that I like. Like if they made this game for the Harry Potter universe or Lord of the Rings or whatever, I would be like, yes, mid, left swipe, I'm good. But you know, this is my area, right? So I'm kind of excited about it. I'm grading on a curve, but
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
it's just slapping
disagreeing with
the
any of
Star
what you're
Wars
saying.
title. It's just slapping the Star Wars title on it without any of the things that Star Wars is most known. It's like if they made a Harry Potter game and you couldn't use any spells. It's kind of how it feels. A
Yeah,
little
like
bit.
if
Like I
you play the
mentioned
Harry Potter
too.
game and you're a squib, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like you like a house elf. Like but you could. I mentioned this too. Like the difference between this trailer and something like Star Wars Eclipse. I would have so much rather had Eclipse finished and seen what that was about, as opposed to, another. It's just me and my companion, and we're trying to survive. Like it's so stupid. But also the Ubisoft, like the pay. I know things are getting more expensive, but also having the release is like screwed up. I think also with the day one DLC paywalls, having the artificial paywall if you buy the for the season pass or whatever to get the extra mission, and then they address that saying, well, it's not that big of a deal. There's more Jabba the Hutt. This is just one mission. This I think they thought would help, but it's actually kind of making it seem like a scam and saying like the people who bought that is stupid for paying an extra $40.
Guys, listen, it's not even worth it. Like I don't know what you're complaining about. It's dumb as shit. Don't worry about it. That's just for
And
the
then
suckers like Ed.
there's the option to have like it keeps going up and up in the pre-order stuff, but and then they have the last option, which is a little bit cheaper, to subscribe to Ubisoft Plus, which is obviously just them trying to siphon traffic to that. But I don't know, I just think it's very generic and very, just like I said, if it's for everyone, it's like, who's it for? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I got nothing in the way of like again, sometimes you got takes about Star Wars things that hurt my heart, and I'm like, no, man, you don't get it, right? But no, on this one, I'm still gonna eat the trash, but I think that it is trash. I got no issue with it. Now, if the game comes out and I think it's a masterpiece, I'll say that, and I'll be like, bro, I promise, she's changed. But but like I get it. I think that this is yeah, I'm with you. I think it's fair. Do you have any other diamonds you want to drop on our melons before you go back to chasing birds out of your HVAC events or whatever you got going on?
No, I don't think so. I'll probably, like you said, I'll give it a try too, but it's not something that I am looking forward to as much as I was upon the announcement. You know what I mean?
You heard it here first, folks. Look forward to disinterested Let's Play lore plays on program featuring Wyatt Michael Sings for at least one episode, maybe more. TBT.
And maybe Andy plays Minecraft.
Yeah, and Andy
Hey,
plays
if it's
Minecraft.
bad enough though, if it's bad enough, can we all just play it and just like joke about it? Can we do a let's play where we just make fun of it the whole time? Because that could be
Michael,
fun.
if you couldn't hear that, Wyatt, Michael asked if it's that bad, if we all get on a Discord party together and stream someone playing it, and we all just dunk on it the whole time. I think that could be some pretty great content as well.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea.
I love it. Hey, and you're exactly right about Eclipse, man. I'm super hyped for that one. You know, Quantic Dream, like they got some solid hits in their arsenal, even though they've gone through some PR nightmares. But Detroit was a great game. Really enjoyed that. And I'm also excited as heck for that KOTOR remake, which they said is still alive. So please don't give me hope. Don't do that. Don't give me hope.
Man, that's another thing though. The studios, man, like this one is made by the Division. It's like, it's just like, man, it's probably gonna be rough, dude. There's no lightsabers, no action, no force. You know what I mean? Like, what are we gonna do? It's crazy.
Probably shoot things, maybe run around.
Yeah, but like you think of the most exciting
You're
moments
riding a
in the
space
movies, right?
moped.
Like Rogue
It's
One.
not even
What
a
was the
whole
most
speeder.
exciting part about that movie? Most would probably say the end with Darth Vader, right?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, like yeah, you know what I mean. Like you get like most movies, especially I guess the new ones. Like you think back to the most exciting or memorable part, it's usually with something or someone revolving around a lightsaber or the Force. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I will argue that I want a Mandalorian
And so you need to
game
bring
that
that
has
excitement
nothing
to
to
video games,
do.
especially TV and film is fine to have dialogue and stuff, obviously, but that's just my. If you're gonna make a video game for people, like they want to feel, that power and the
Yeah.
that experience. But
Yeah, well, I
what
mean,
do
like,
I know?
there's, yeah, no, that's valid, and like I said, Andy, obviously, Wyatt can't hear you, so he wasn't trying to cut you off, but,
No,
but,
I don't think so. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, man, so I'm gonna, you giving us some things to discuss there, so I'm gonna let it go so that way we can dive into that, but I'm looking forward to this disinterested Let's Play. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun, and yeah, I appreciate you popping on, man. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Word. All right, that's my brother, everybody. I'll see you next time. Red phone. Okay. Andy, Wyatt accidentally cut you off there. He was talking some interesting things that I have opinions about as well. I was tracking with him almost completely until that last bit there, but I want to get your thoughts about that. And go ahead.
I was saying I want the Mandalorian game, and that can have nothing to do with lightsabers and force power.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But a Mandalorian game would be very committed to their genre and what it is and the theme and things like that, where we all agree this game looks like it might be lacking. And we don't know. We don't know anything yet about the game.
Yeah.
Just this little
Yeah.
snippet, I guess.
I will push back on what Wyatt said a little bit about the needing lightsabers to make Star Wars Star Wars. I mean, like I don't that's not my bag. Like, I think we've gotten a lot of those games personally, and I'm kind of ready for a change of pace if it's me on the mic, which it happens to be. That's my stance. Like I'm kind of excited about the idea of being a normal person in Star Wars and getting to just kind of live your life and sort of live these adventures, be Han Solo-esque instead of Luke, right? Like that's kind of fun, and I
Yeah.
don't see that as a categorical issue. Michael, what are
Agreed.
your thoughts?
I feel like right now they have a hard enough time making palatable content with the characters we already love that I think it could be great. Like I'm totally with you. I would love to see a Mandalorian Red Dead kind of game. Like it really lends itself to that. I would love to see more sort of average Joe sort of character games if there's a game genre where that makes sense and it actually fits in. Yeah, no, I mean, I would argue at one point you're right. Like they have a hard time making content that doesn't include Star Wars or it doesn't include Jedi or the Force that people actually like. I think Solo struggled as much as we all love Andor and Rogue One. A lot of people struggled with that. Mandalorian
Glad
was
I didn't
close,
have to
but
hear
then
Wyatt's opinions on Andor. I don't
right.
need that in my life
Mando
right
was
now.
good, but like to Wyatt's point, they really had to still lean back on the dark saber and the Force and stuff, and Luke,
Yeah.
and that was
Yeah.
still kind of came back to it. But then on the same, they also struggled with Obi-Wan and Ahsoka. As much as we still like those, like they weren't exactly smash hits. Everybody absolutely just soaked it up and loved it. So this is what I'm saying is they're sort of struggling with any of the content to be good. But I agree there's a bit of an uphill battle here to convince us this random character we've never met. Same with Cal Kestis. It was the same kind of thing, which just worked. But you got to really sell this character for people to care. It's going to take a lot. If they had just said, "Hey, it's a Lando game," like this whole game with setting and everything, but if you're like following young Lando Calrissian or something, or not so young because it's not that far in the past, but like they made that game, I don't think that
It's
people would
actually
have the same
after the
thought.
movie he showed up in. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying, so he's not really that young, but still, like, I don't know. I think that would be a cool game. Even Han Solo game, whatever. Like, people would be fine with that, but it doesn't mean that this is going to be bad. It could be exactly the same game. It just they're just going to have to sell us on some brand new character
See,
that
but
we
this
don't
is
care
what
about.
this is what I'm confused on,
We're not
because
we're upset either
again,
way.
It's
You
the
can't win.
opposite
Yeah, so-
of the film problem.
yeah, that's what I was going.
Yeah.
Like, and again, Wyatt wasn't on that panel, so I'm not like, Wyatt can think whatever he wants, and it's all valid. I'm not dunking on him and his opinions, but he can play Fallen Order and he can play Survivor and Force Unleashed and all of those. Like those exist, right? Like I don't have GTA and Star Wars as much as I've wanted it, right? I think I would also make the argument that having all Jedi the whole time, having like Hogwarts Legacy but for Star Wars, is potentially overkill. Like it demeans the power of the Jedi, right? Like it makes it so
I'll
could,
play a young
right?
Jedi Jedi Padawan game. Absolutely, that sounds fantastic.
No, 100%.
Can you
like I would
imagine?
play that. But hear me on this. Like this was the critique of Force Unleashed, right? In order to keep leveling you up, you have to be this god tier acolyte who's like more powerful than Darth Vader. Same with Cal Kestis.
Yeah, it
We're
broke
look
the
at all
game,
this
but
stuff
Cal
he's
Kestis
doing.
made a lot
and,
more sense. They did a
it was
much better
better.
job
It
with
was
the
a lot
writing.
better. Yeah.
Explain the power scaling and the leveling up and stuff. They did a good
So
job.
all I'm saying is you play this whole game, you go through, and again, I'm being hyper optimistic here, and I get that. This game could be a dumpster fire. But you play this game, you go through all this stuff, you assemble this cadre of scum and villainy, and then Darth Vader shows up and kills everything you've done, and then you die. Like Rogue One. That'd be pretty epic. That'd be awesome. That'd be really cool.
But then why right. The only thing cool about your game is Darth Vader in the end. Which
I think it makes that moment cool. Like if Darth Vader had been killing rebels in the hallway for an hour and a half, that would be lame.
They can't do it though. They did it, and that's how
it's
everyone
the
in the
monster thing.
Force Unleashed
Guys, it's
games
every
end with Vader
horror
fight.
movie.
The both Jedi games end with a Vader fight, basically. Like
Michael, don't get hooked on the minutia. I'm talking about the concept of in a horror movie, you don't have the demon be around the whole time. It's what you don't see that scares you, right? That's the whole idea of Psycho and Blair Witch and all those sort of things. Like it's what's off screen that's scary. Like people were complaining about Godzilla not being in the Gareth Edwards Godzilla movie until the end, but apparently it's like, anyway, we're getting off. This game could suck, and
can we admit
that could be. Go ahead.
At this point, the game hasn't been made yet. It could be good. It could be bad. We want them to make new characters, but they need to do a really good job with them to sell us on these new characters. Otherwise, they need to do a really good job with the characters we already love. Like you got to pick one. Don't be terrible with either way. And we don't know how it's going to be. Realistically, the problem right now is marketing. We've all sort of admitted that when it first came out, we were more interested. The more content they show, the way they're showing it, the less interested we are, or the more questionable it makes it seem. And we've had this problem with Star Wars movies and things before too, where they show very little, they make it really interesting, people have a lot of thoughts and guesses, and it comes out, and then we decide. But if they give us too much information, I think they did that with Solo. They showed too much of it in the trailer in 2 different ways, and people just got all spun up about it before it even came out. I'm not saying they should show us nothing, but I think the way that they've showed us the content in the marketing has not been successful. That also on top of their PR issues about DLC and all that kind of stuff.
But also, to echo more what Wyatt said, just the quality of the writing of what they are showing us. Because I don't think the problem necessarily is that they're showing too much. I think it's the quality of what we see. Because I agree with Wyatt that the script sounded sort of no personality, AI-esque.
Yeah.
Like, I got nothing from, what's her name, Vess, the main character?
I think so. I don't even,
I love a strong female lead. I didn't learn anything about her. Her
this is her one shot, Andy.
This job is my one shot at freedom. I mean, I skip every mobile ad that says something like that. It's boring. You know what I mean?
I'm going to use my button again. Hell yeah. The marketing is a problem, and also coming from an untrustworthy studio regarding quality makes me unsure. That's a fact. That's bars. That's valid. Again, I'm being optimistic here. I forgot to bring this up when you were on the phone, Wyatt, but one of the things you said, so I said, I'm super excited because they talk about all these different syndicates and you'll be able to have, potentially like different standing with different ones. And that's really exciting. Sort of like a Fallout type deal where you got to manage your relationship and you can't double cross these guys. And it was reminded me of like the Outer Worlds or whatever. You got all these different factions and different standings. And he was like, bro, that would be great. But Ubisoft will probably just be like, you can do missions for all these guys and then you can kill them. Like it was like, and I was thinking, I was like, I think you're right. Like there's a pretty good chance that you're more right than I am on this one. And it's a little disappointing because, again, I'm hyped. I want this to be good, but
it's not BioWare, it's Ubisoft.
Yeah, exactly. And, and as relates to the Ubisoft thing, like their whole bit about you shouldn't be able to own your games or whatever. And, like we get it. They're milking consumers to try to get as much money out, Wyatt's point about day one DLC and then, oh, don't get mad, it actually sucks. It's just for the idiots, like I get it. This stuff sucks. Like EA screwed the pooch, and then we had 2 or 3 games where they were like really trying to be consumer conscious, and then I think now they've bought all that goodwill back, and now Star Wars gaming is just kind of like, what if we just threw it away again? Michael, we were talking off air about the not owning your own games thing, you said you had a different perspective on that. I'd like to hear that because I am very ignorant on a lot of things in the gaming space. And what's your take on those things?
So that's people don't know here. I studied game design and was interested in going in that degree field before I realized there's like no money in it. And that's partially why companies are doing this, right? Because you have something like Fortnite that nobody questions whether or not you own Fortnite. You don't own Fortnite. They own Fortnite. They allow you to play. In fact, if it's like other games I've seen, you screw up badly enough or you cheat badly enough, they hardware ban you. Not just like, oh, ban account, make a new one. Like literally your GPU serial number is logged and you can never log in ever again if you put that into another computer. Like you got to buy a whole new computer, not just your IP address, stuff like that. Why pop it up there? But so it is sort of the wave of the future, and there are some pros. I got really mad about this as a consumer back in the day because I was really big into modding, which is how I got into game design. So I loved the idea of trying to of like owning that to the point where as long as I'm not making money off of something, I can do whatever I want with the chunk of code I paid money for. This is mine. But then, yeah, it feels rough.
Bro just skewered me.
Gross.
I'm like, I feel a little violated, but sometimes the truth can hurt. Listen, I got.
We all said we're gonna play it. Like,
yeah, like, come on, I'm not hiding the ball here. I said I'm grading on a curve. Fucking 2%, man. You call me 2%. All right. Oh, it's a train wreck, man.
Day one DLC. Day one DLC is just about as infuriating as a consumer as buying an unfinished game, right? Like getting your Battlefront 2 where there's no DLC planned. There's barely a functional game to begin with. The servers don't work. It's unbalanced as heck. It doesn't, you got to spend 80 hours to unlock the characters they advertise for the trailers. That and then there's loot boxes on top of it, just as a little kind of a dig that, oh, we got to make our money somehow on top of the $60 game you already paid for.
Yeah.
Like on one hand, I as a consumer, that sucks. I don't want that any more than I want day one DLC where like, hey, we sold you 75% of the game. If you want the other 25%, pay us more. Like that sucks. The whole point of DLC or expansion should be, hey, I love this game enough that you guys kept making content to have me come back for more, not like sell me half of what it advertised for to begin with, or a portion of. But at the same time, it is a different world than when we had our first Battlefront and our first Republic Commando and our first Knights of the Old Republic. Like the gaming industry is different. When you have free games like Fortnite making millions, off of skins and garbage content that does absolutely nothing for the game. You have all these big name companies wondering, man, well, churning out a new game every year that's copy paste with a new engine is really hard. It's really hard to actually make money off of that, because people get tired of it. Or give me a free game where all that anybody cares about is aesthetics and random things that don't matter. Like, I don't know. It's hard. It's
Wyatt,
hard
if you're gonna drop diamonds like this and just drop these
Just get in
killer
the-
lines,
just
just get on the show, brother. Hook up your webcam. Golly. Man's killing it out here. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
It's hard to make money though.
extremely-
Like if you can just continually make money off of a game, why wouldn't you as a company? It's not good business to be like, oh, let me just dump tons and tons of money into this game, sell licenses for $60 a piece, which a bunch of people will pirate anyway, and be done and start making the next one. When you could be like, well, but what if we just had all these extra ways of making money on top of it? Like it's hard to justify in the world where that is a valid option. So
I think this might be the first time in the history of the world where the profit motive got in between the consumer and quality. That just never happens. And I'm going to tell you, I'm glad we got to see it, because it was all theoretical up to this point,
To Wyatt's point, though, we want it to stop. You got to stop consuming the content. Sorry.
Listen, man, Wyatt will stop. Wyatt
will stop.
I will
and
stop.
We gotta hope that for the
I'm
average gamer
stopping
that is
playing
only...
Fortnite. You know what I mean? I'm doing my part on Fortnite.
See, me doing my part in Fortnite would be if I played it, not spending money on stupid things that don't matter. Like it's literally a peer pressure thing. But
I know life Madden every year, and that in and of itself is bad behavior. I should be better than this, but they have a sole license with the NFL, so I don't know what to do. But
is
I
it
don't
a better
play...
game than it was the previous year?
Never, not even once, not one time. But what I don't do, this is where I'm trying to pull back a little credibility for myself. I never do the microtransactions. I never play MUT. I never do any of that. So,
You have microtransactions in Madden?
Listen.
What?
Listen, it's bad.
I have not played a Madden game since 2008, since it was on a GameCube.
yeah, it's bad. I'm sorry. Well, I'll program myself. This is the Venn diagrams of Star Wars and football content are two separate circles, but anyway, hey, Andy's still on this show. Let's wrap this up. Star Wars gaming. We can leave that behind. Andy, do you have any final thoughts about any of this kerfuffle, any of it, before we move on to the Bad Batch? I love that. Thank you.
Sorry,
Let's
I
move
didn't
on
know I was.
to
I
the
didn't know I was
Bad Batch.
muted. What I was muted. What I said was. Mm-mm.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you unmuted for that. That's great. All right. Well, now
and hi, 5 viewers.
we love you guys. It's great to see you. All 5 of you. Anyone else? If you put a comment on, I found the button that will put it on the screen. So chime in. Don't let Wyatt outclass you. And don't let him be the only one who bullied me relentlessly in the comments that were on screen. So don't feel like you can't chime in. This is a public forum. We are Athens in Star Wars. Okay. All right, cool. Now we're moving on to the Bad Batch. Goodbye, 5 viewers. It was fun having you. We just watched the Bad Batch this last. We're into the last 3 episodes of the season. We didn't talk about the episode before, though. We didn't talk about Juggernaut, if my memory serves. So let's talk about Juggernaut, and then we'll talk about Into the Breach, and we'll see if anyone had any real thoughts. My opinions on this, and again, spoiler warning, rear. Okay. I did not really have any issues with these. I thought these were good episodes. They were really fun to watch, but they were straightforward. And so I have very little content to really add. There's very little to discuss on my end. I feel like this was just solid leading up to the end television. There's things to discuss, like Rampart being there. Maybe we could talk about. I love seeing turbo tanks and juggernauts, but I don't have a whole heck of a lot to say, especially about Juggernaut. But who wants it? Raise your hand. Andy, Michael, let's go. Andy, do you have any thoughts first? All right, heck yeah, let's do it. I want to hear what Andy has to say.
Yeah, does Rampart have like a fan base on the? Are there people excited to see Rampart? Because I kind of thought that guy sucked and was the worst. But I've seen excitement. I've seen fan art. Okay, I'm not yucking anybody's yum. But what's up?
It's all the Lockheed Martin defense contractors. It's like, I see myself in Rampart. I worked in the defense industry for a long time, so I'm not yucking anyone's yum or pursuit of eating, but yeah, that's who I am.
Where's Reba when we need her? We need an off the wall opinion about the likability of a Star Wars character, please.
Listen, man, I thought that was in reference to my Lockheed Martin quip, because you don't want if I'm off the wall, a Lockheed Martin Reba being here would send it. We'd get demonetized. But
we're making money off of this.
Yeah, well, we're not. Listen, let them think, man. Fake it till we make it, okay? Hannah and Michael Bradley said on their joint account, Ed has little content to add, never. That's great when panelists are our viewers. I love it. I said before, we have the 1-to-1 viewer to panelist ratio, and when we move beyond that, we will have sold out.
I also want to say,
he was talking about Rampart,
yeah, over with that. How proud I am of Omega, and Omega just like being a light in these kids' lives and putting in the work. And yeah, I posted on my Instagram story, if a trusted adult doesn't jump in and help them out, I'm gonna freak out.
Yeah, 100%. Omega is doing everything. She is awesome. I really am enjoying Omega's arc, and I've talked about it before, but Andy, you have something to say. Go ahead.
Well, and we see her around the boys, around the clones, and she looks so small, and then we put her in this room with babies and she looks so grown up, and she's so confident and sure of herself and her plans, and like it was just really impressive to see. And I was really happy to watch it with my daughter, who's 7, and I was just like, man, what a cool like role model that would be to look at when you're a little girl. I just thought it was super cool.
That's supremely wholesome. That's the most wholesome thing we'll hear all day. That's great. Yeah, Omega's awesome. It's fun seeing her growth too. Like, I can't remember which episode it was in, but like her seeing Eva with the doll and being like, she doesn't say that was mine. She's like, I'm glad you have that. Like where did you get it? This is I want to bring some comments in here. Wyatt says, I don't even know who that character is, Larry. So that's fun. I'm not going to pretend that I don't know what the Larry thing is. We calls people Larry, so that's the lore behind that. I don't know how it started. You just run with it, Let's see. If I add 2 comments, do they go on top of each other? Oh, look at that. Sweet and Simple says, wish someone loved me enough to have a joint account. Yeah, same, brother. Same. I don't know who Sweet and Simple is. I assumed your gender, and I apologize. We are all brothers in Christ. Andy says Andy looks smart. I think someone's using Andy's account, or Andy loves Andy. Fellas, get you someone that loves you.
We need a soundboard
like
with
Andy.
The imposter sound, from
Get you someone that loves you like Andy loves Andy. That's what I was going to say.
That's weird.
Get out of here with that positivity. Okay. This is a fun thing. I like this. I like this toy. We're having fun here.
There's another one. You're like whoever that is.
We have no viewers. All the viewers are people we know. This is great. This is a public This is a public Zoom call. She says, "Acknowledge our commitment. We're married. I'm proud of it. I stand on it." Oh God, this is great. Once a week, I get together with my friends, and whoever can't come on the Zoom call lurks in the chat, and we have a great time. God, I love it. This is the best. Okay, so that was Juggernaut. We didn't even talk about Juggernaut. They go on a mission. They have a heist. They need to get the codes. They free Rampart. I mean, I don't know, man. It was solid. Like, I didn't have any issues with it. It was solo. It was every train heist. Like, it is an action episode. Very, very little to say other than I was worried about them all surviving after Tech, and like I was worried what was going to happen. When Wrecker threw. Okay.
Yes. There.
When Wrecker
What?
threw Rampart like a sack of potatoes and then jumped, I was like, what if you don't make it? Like that would suck.
I said that. I was like, they're traumatizing us on purpose. Oh my god.
Yeah. But everybody made it, so that's what I'm saying. Like, we kind of moved on. So yeah. So anyone have any final thoughts about Juggernaut before we move on to Into the Breach? No.
I've had more fun on the podcast than I did watching those episodes.
Oh.
That's because we discovered this button. Wyatt found his home in the live chat. See what I mean? Like we're having fun now, where my wife's burner account and Michael's joint and Andy talking about herself and my brother who called into the show can all talk to us.
Hey Wyatt, at least there's no birds in the live chat.
There's about a 30-second delay, so give them a minute.
Yeah, it'll show up right when we change topics. It'll be like, "I got your bird right here, Larry." All right. Oh my god.
Question though, legitimate question about Juggernaut. Was it really a good episode?
Yeah.
Was it? Because I feel like we've been giving this whole season a bit of a pass, and I wonder sometimes if our bar has just gotten so low. Like, it's not bad, but I'm like, was it any good? Like, I had zero desire to go back and watch it. I found it's fine. It was super predictable. Knew exactly what was going to happen. It was just like a total. This is a necessity for this to happen. Like, I feel like Clone Wars used to have recaps of things that you never saw in an episode, and they would have recapped this episode. Like, Clone Wars would have just been like, and then they got this guy back who, by the way, you remember this guy Rampart. Yeah, they got him back from a thing, and that was the whole episode. Like, you didn't need 20 minutes to show. Or if you are going to spend 20 minutes showing people actually do like a whole heist, I just feel like it was so basic and not exciting.
Milk toast, yeah.
But
Andy.
Michael B, that's what 300 pages of Twilight Company was for the rest of us. Right? We could have recapped it.
I don't know. I think you're on thin ice there.
I loved this episode, and I loved Twilight Company. Maybe they both, had some extra stuff that we're enjoying just because it's happening.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I think it's okay to say it wasn't good.
I know that. I liked it though.
Wyatt said didn't even watch it the first time. It was so bad. Get out of here, Larry. Oh, it's funny. No, look, okay.
I don't
so
knock
first
anybody
of all,
for enjoying it. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, I think it's valid what you're saying. I would say I'm a lot more forgiving of episodes like this in this venue than I would be on the live action shows, right? If you're going to spend millions and millions of dollars and make this whole thing for adult audience, fine. But maybe if you're a kid, right, who ostensibly is this target audience, the primary audience, a lot more justifiably than George Lucas is like, it's all for 12-year-olds, type deal. Like, I feel like maybe they've never seen the classic Westerns or maybe even Solo, like maybe this is just fun for them. It's a Sunday morning. Like, it's a good time.
You think they really care about Rampart though? Just saying. We don't care about Rampart. We were like, who again.
Admiral Yularen looks different here.
I mean, I'm also with the rest of the people like, hey, Crosshair, maybe you should have brought this up, you know, before we lost to Omega. Like, I understand it not being your first choice, but we went through a lot this season. If we had known this was an option,
Yeah.
and frankly, it was a breeze to get this guy out of here,
Yeah.
easy peasy. Maybe we should have done this in the first place. I don't know. It's a lot
Look,
easier
man,
than letting Omega get captured.
the
It's just
finale is
better
gonna have a
bring it
lot
home.
to say. Yeah, that's why I'm with you. Like,
So everybody dies except Omega and the kids. They all sacrifice themselves for them to get out.
locking it in. Final answer.
God,
This
I
is more of
hope
a
not.
hope.
Jesus.
This is more of a hope, like hoping that Omega doesn't just break everybody out of prison through from Ex Machina force powers, because that's like 50-50 shot one or the other happens. Actually, it's not. That's far more likely to happen than them actually committing to kill characters off, because we're still not even convinced Tech is dead, and it's been a whole season since he died. So
I think we're
still
convinced that he's not.
dead. That's just what I'm saying.
CX2 is
So
Tech. I was gonna say it's not
The
Force
Cody?
Powers Ex Machina. It's M Count Ex
M
Machina.
count X Mach. Well, we don't know what her M count is though.
It's high.
No,
It's
we
high.
don't know that. We don't know
It's high as fuck.
Still like the K2. You know what the odds are that her M count is high.
High.
It's
Very
high.
high.
Very high. Oh my god!
See, we like that movie for something other than the lightsabers, Wyatt.
Yeah. Take notes, Larry. You remember when we started this podcast and I tried to be so serious? It was like, I got Wyatt to make this like sick ass intro music and like everything, and I hit the wrong button. That's how far
we don't even use it
downhill we've
anymore.
gotten. No, we don't. I just jumped right in. It took one person to be like, hey, it's a little long and it's copyright. I was like, yeah, fair enough. Let's just jump in. All right, let's move on. We got another episode to talk about, Into the Breach. This one I have a little bit more to say. I liked this one a good bit more, seeing Omega's interaction with the kids. And I know that's Andy's bag, so there's nothing I could say on that you wouldn't say better. So, Andy, what were your thoughts on this episode, particularly Omega and the sort of interactions with Rampart again, everyone's favorite character?
I kind of touched on my big feelings about it earlier. Just seeing Omega kind of in her element as a defender of these kids who need somebody to step in, and yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes, and I'm so proud of her, and I just love her so much. It was cool. Something that stood out to me was seeing Echo going full ARC Trooper. He was doing like flips over the boxes and stuff, getting up in the. He really did the thing.
Yeah, it's pronounced Ikar, but yeah, you're right.
Ikar, sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. It's it's a classic mistake. It's not a big deal. It happens to the best of us, and Michael. But yeah, no, you're right. It was kind of cool to see. I really I have one more thing to say, but I want to see what Michael has. I keep pointing at the wrong thing. I want to see what this guy has to say about Into the Breach before I. Yeah, he asked you. What you got to say about this one?
I liked seeing Echo come back. Finally, is cool. I like that they have a never-ending supply of ships, and nobody seems to care how fast things are stolen. They're like, yeah, we have. They'll only discover it's stolen when we need them to for the plot. It's fine. But I mean, I liked this episode better than the previous one, especially the back and forth. I just joked with Hannah as we were watching that Omega was being like the worst about being subtle. She was like literally hand wringing this table. She's like has this sort of like glaring face and hand wringing. We're like, yeah, really subtle. No one's gonna think you're scheming, Omega. You definitely don't have your scheming face. I mean, it's a this one total pass. Like this is animation 101. You got to do that. But still, it's like, yeah, I'm glad that like somebody came down to check on her. They're like, fishy, because like she was being fishy.
Do we think that Emery left the tool there on purpose, or was like hoping that Omega took it, or Omega? Sorry. Right,
No, but I do
right.
kind of want to see her like Captain Kirk, neck chop this other lady who's just way too nosy.
Oh yeah, I swear I thought you
Yeah.
were gonna say Omega, and I was about to just kick you off the chat. I was like,
It just
I'm
goes.
sorry. That's the line. I didn't know it was there, but we found it. Lauren said, "Put some respect on that name." Probably talking about Ikar. And then why is it so really Norway, mate? Let's just get some Vegemite in the chat. Some Vegemite. The Aussie slander knows no bounds. We talk about Aussies and we talk about Kiwis. It's great. We're having fun here. So my thing about this episode that I thought was interesting was it's called Into the Breach, and everyone was talking about, Into the Breach from, the Shakespearean play, that classic line, once more into the breach, my friends, yada, yada, yada. And they're assuming it's about the soldiers, right? My humble supposition, dear viewer, is that it's actually talking about Omega going into the wall, because Into the Breach is like a hole in the wall running through the castle, right? So she's found out that she's got to go through the wall to get out. So Into the Breach being Omega and the kids are going to climb through the wall to get out of that dang, prison there. What do you think about that, Internet?
Sure.
Got hot takes. Thanks, man. Validation.
I would just like to. I said this to Hannah too, and we're watching. Like, if the ultimate weakness to this ridiculous vault, right? They have made so much of a big deal about the security of this vault. If a 12-year-old can with a toothpick pick apart the wall, and they're just like, oh, and there's just happens to be these giant ducts that lets you just go through the building, you can just escape this vault. If only, like, no, yeah, if that's like a security flaw, a massive security flaw with this super ultra secret under guard vault under constant supervision, like, if they just have these massive tubes that go through the entire building that are just opened with a toothpick to get through the walls, this is just going to be a little sad. But I'm hoping there's more to it than just jumping into a chute and shimmying out and being like, we follow the dogs out the gate again. I don't know.
We'll go out with the laundry.
I got on maybe just rose-colored lenses because I wouldn't care.
I might. I'm with Michael. As much as I love these kids and I desperately want them to get out. They had like 19, grid power fences to get through there. I mean, it was like,
it's a little dramatic. If that's
it's like, it was like the Get Smart.
It really is. Yeah.
Hallway to go through. And it was just like, it was so funny. And then for them to just like, yeah, we went out through the wall. Like, it was just drywall.
I mean, Omega having a shoe phone is much closer to what I was expecting here. Like, it was kind of all very short-sighted that she went and did that and didn't expect them to be like, all right, now give us your tracking device. And she's like, oh, darn it. You saw through my big plan. I'm like, you didn't have two? They only asked you. They believed you when you gave them the one. You could have just had a second one in your pocket. They never would have known.
Right.
It's just, also, like,
you forgot about my Apple AirTag.
Another question. This whole thing is about them tracking this ship, right? They're going to this. They just got to figure out where Tantus is. They have tracking devices attached to their weapons. They can shoot them, they can throw them. Why do they need to board and magnetize their ship to this other ship that's going to Tantus? Why not just track it there and be done? Like they were going to do with the CX droid guy before Crosshair missed his shot. Like, did they just run out of tracking devices? They're like, that was our last one. Guess we're gonna have to literally magnetize our ship to the bottom of this one.
We're at a rocket, sir.
Oh, good thing we don't have blasters.
Wouldn't the sensors that can pick up other ships that Echo had to shut down, couldn't that have maybe been alerted to a tracking device?
physically like getting on the ship and everything. Like he could have just, instead of that whole thing of going up the vacuum chute and hacking into the thing to disable the proximity sensors, he could have just been like, oh, those droids are going in there, let me just slap a tracking device on the side of this RT. Just whoop, on its way up. Oh, this was so much easier than I thought it was gonna be. Just
I like that visual.
just with his one robotic arm.
Right up the butt.
Okay, well, I wasn't going that far, but just saying, this could have been a lot simpler with the given technology and understanding of how things work in Star Wars.
Listen,
meanwhile, breaking
Maybe.
people off of a prison planet, easy peasy, no worries. Like that's no problem. But tracking a ship.
I mean, yeah, I'm
haven't
surprised
done
that
that ever.
Rampart had such little security, but then I'm also not. I feel like the security for,
I'm
Sam
surprised he's
Bankman-Fried
not.
wouldn't be super high.
I'm
Like you
surprised
just get
he's
in
not
there.
dead, considering like
That's fair.
everything. Like he should really be dead, considering how even dark some of these episodes have been thus far. Like he was the scapegoat for the destruction of Kamino, and I realized the rest of the galaxy just goes on and didn't even know what Kamino was before the war. But like,
Imperial
he knows
Palpatine
the whole
believes
thing
in
was.
restorative
I don't know. He just seems like a loose end. Why would they
justice.
bother? Why would they bother
It's
putting him on a
actually
prison planet?
Kaminor.
The Empire does not believe in retributive justice, but instead rehabilitation. I have kept
right.
Rampart alive so that he can see the error of his ways.
Which were doing his job exactly as
woke
told.
Palpatine. yeah. Like prison abolitionist Palpatine out here trying to keep Rampart alive.
Meanwhile, I present Andor. Like,
yeah.
I'm just a tourist. You were loitering 6 years in prison.
They had to rehabilitate him from loitering. I mean, vagrancy is not a victimless crime, Jim.
Not if you enforce it.
Oh my goodness. No, look, I think you're exactly right. Some of the plot holes in this one are really hard to look past. I mean, I was kind of thinking that when they were jumping to the ship, I'm like, man, there's not a simpler way to. Okay, whatever, fair enough.
All right, but here's my real prediction. Okay, regardless of the people dying, they have to bring Rampart with them because Rampart has to have a change of heart and he has to sacrifice himself at some point here, because they've got Rampart with him, and now he's got to realize his life is over no matter what. So he's going to do something that's going to like redeem him, and they're going to realize maybe not all bad Imperials are all that bad because it's a kid
shot.
All right.
Shot. My thought is the closest we'll get to that is General Hux, where it's like, I don't want you to win. I want Kylo Ren to lose, right? Like that's the only way that could go. In my mind, I think more likely he's brought there so that way he can betray them to try to get favor back.
That's fair. I mean,
that's my thought. If we're, I say no shot confidently just because I will riot if that is true. If they try to redeem Rampart, I'll be very, very upset. So my umbrage with your take is not that I don't think it could happen. It's just that I really, really don't want it to happen. So I'm taking that out on you, and that's not fair, and I apologize. But but here we are.
I mean, to the clones, this guy Rampart is either Hitler or Hitler's number one guy. Like he he went and literally wiped out their home world or their home planet, killed all of their brothers and potentially baby clones, and they really skate over that one, like just completely obliterated the place. So like they probably shouldn't. They're really just like, but we still need him, so we'll work with him. It's fine.
They gave them an hour to evacuate and shot one rocket first before they blew it all up. They transferred all the clones off is what I would actually say in universe. They were like, we're gonna move you for science. Yeah.
That's why they killed all the Kaminoans except for Nalase.
Yes, that's why they were.
They're fine. They're just sleeping on another planet where they were safely, transported to. It's fine.
Yes. Yeah. 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 I'm just gonna leave it there because yeah, you're right. It's gross, and there's no parallels to real world. We'll move on. This is fantasy escapism. Andy, what do you have to say? Save me from getting us further in this rabbit hole.
I think I said my stuff about these episodes. I'm really excited to see where we go. I've heard some devastating comments from people who have finished the season. Um,
How have they finished it? Did they
I
make
don't.
it?
I
Did
think
they
so.
write the Star Wars? Did they
There's
live
people
them?
who. Shut up! What are you talking about?
I saw How I Met the Mother thing. Remember How I Met Your Mother?
Oh,
The only people who haven't seen Star Wars are the people who were in Star Wars
oh.
because they were in the Star Wars. Sorry. You're like, what are you having a stroke? That's valid. I'm sorry.
No, I've seen a handful of quotes. I assumed you guys would have already seen it, but there's people who have seen the finale and they were able to comment on it without any spoilers, and it's just like, oh, if you think it's dark, like it gets so much darker. Prepare to
Oh,
be
wow.
emotionally destroyed. All this sort of just
I mean,
vague.
the darkest thing they could do is kill off Omega.
Oh.
Oh God, I hope
Or
not.
Eva. Or
Well-
all
God!
of the children.
Stop.
I'm spiraling.
Hey, question about the children though. Actually, they live the Star Wars. Where did these kids that they currently have come from?
What do you mean? They came from their home planets.
We'll get back to that, Michael. Use the Force. You remember that thing that Wyatt loved and wanted in every video game? He's now dunking on it. No, that's yeah. I thought it was gonna be like my favorite part of Star Wars was when they said, "I am the Star Wars." Most epic line. I love that trend on the internet. Michael, you were asking where do we get the kids from? Is that what you said? Where do they come from? Where do they find them?
I was wondering where. So I had sort of a weird theory that maybe these kids have been in like captivity a very long time. Like I'm wondering if these aren't holdovers from Palpatine's experiments during the Clone Wars for the Children of the Force episode, because there's a point at which yeah, Wyatt wants to know where children come from. I'll let you know when you're old enough, Wyatt. Talk to me after class. No, I'll let you know. So yeah, so
I
there's a
don't
point
have
at which
kids either. I don't know. You two are the parents, so I don't.
So there's a point when they're trying to track down where Cad Bane went in Children of the Force in Clone Wars. They're trying to figure out where they went, and so a bunch of the masters sort of get together and they meditate, and they're like, "We're going to track down these kids. Where are they?" And they start sort of naming off planets. And there's a couple times when they name off places, and they're like, "No, too late. He's already taken those kids. Those kids are gone." We never see those kids, and I can't find the quote to figure out exactly what planets they were. I don't know if Muriel was one of them, which would be crazy. Is the other girl, she's not an Iktachi, she's
She's
an
Yeah.
Iktachi, yeah, so I don't think that was mentioned. But
will
the only
other
thing
one
I
is
would say.
Han
Go ahead,
Solo.
Indy.
I was gonna say the
Torah.
vibe was that Jax was a newbie because he had that attempt to escape and that hope
Right.
squashed. I don't think that would happen if he had been there several years or anything.
I mean,
I'm not
There
saying
we
it's
go.
impossible, but
No, I
that
mean, but like
wasn't
they
the
said,
vibe.
they're talking about going home, and if they were like infants from
yeah, it's a good point.
know,
Yeah, what
2, 3, 4 years ago, like
know.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not
That's a fair
saying
point.
there's no shot, but I'm just and they designed that place for older Force sensitives as well. So my thought is like it's just been they just chewed through all their Jedi,
Oh
and
yeah,
now they're
all the
abducting Force
leftover.
sensitive kids.
I also I can't quote this, but I got a vibe that some of them may have been orphans who voluntarily signed on to do this. I don't remember where I got that from. It seems like Some of them didn't. It's like they didn't know what they were getting into.
Yeah, they
or
wanted to
something
be.
like that.
They just that's what they like being there. That's what they wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, they signed the contract. Like, it's not, Yeah. It's like they liked being on TV, right? Like, what did Dan Schneider really do? God.
Sorry. I haven't heard that, Andy, but totally fair. You never know.
I mean, we're all in agreement that it's despicable that those children are there in any context. However, they were deceived. That's what Hemlock said earlier on. He was like,
Yeah,
I
wasn't implying.
Because 100%.
Okay.
We know. I'm sorry. No, you're the most. You're the most conscious of all of us here, so yeah, not at all. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. And when people talk about the darkness of the upcoming episodes, I am desperately hoping that these children's fates are not the source of that darkness. But we'll see.
No.
And I am very ready.
Yeah, it seems like a good way to end the series would be to like reunite Eva with the child's mother. That would be a great way to like maybe levy whatever darkness occurs. Be like,
That'd be sick.
but at least we saved the baby.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see. I'm scared to even say it. I was gonna say like what Omega grows up to be, but like, don't they dare hurt a hair on her head, because like I want
to see grown up Omega being awesome.
Yes,
but I'm okay if none of the Bad Batch guys survive. I'm okay. With
it. Thanks.
Yeah, I need to be better as a host to read these comments for the people that are definitely listening to this show on audio. Sweet and Simple said, Andy for president 2024, the leader we need. And I'm having a hard time speaking, so fair enough. I'm wondering if maybe the real Bad Batch were the kids we met in the last 5 episodes of the show. That's the end,
The friends we made along the way.
Omega gets out and she's like, we're the real Bad Batch. Everyone else,
we're
my
Force
brothers.
99.
Yeah, 99 being our M count. To bring it back to Madden, they have a 99 overall Force rating. They're Club 99.
Good night, Ed. Good night.
Wyatt says, I don't know who Omega is, but they sure sound expendable. Yikes.
This is the same guy that's saying bless you? Wow. It really be the one. It be the ones you think that really.
It be the closest ones. It really do be. My goodness. What a fun episode this was. We strayed very far from that of which we were purportedly speaking. God, this dog. She's knocking on everything. Oh, this show's amazing. So much fun hanging out with you guys as always. Every week is a hoot. Join us next time where we will potentially be talking about this show again. If I'm not in Ohio or Iowa or Idaho or other states where they make root vegetables. So yeah, it was a lot of fun hanging out with you guys, and we will freaking see you next time. Thanks for hanging out. This was a good time. Leave us a comment, not unlike this one by Sweet and Simple. Not everything is comparable to football. Know your audience. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback. I will try to do better. Hannah Bradley says, sounds like you just missed that reference by that much. These are the comments that I'm talking about. Thank you for leaving them, and we certainly appreciate you. I am not above constructive criticism. I take it in stride. Bless you. May the Force be with you.